Hello, everyone. A very warm welcome to everybody in this amazing webinar session, Mobile Advertising Deep Dive India. So I'm welcoming each and every one of you in this amazing time, ladies and gentlemen. So let's wait a few minutes before we start. And while doing so, we have put up a poll to get to know about your concerns when it comes to running ad campaigns. So feel free to answer as the poll is up now. Thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's have a quick introduction of the webinar we are having today. I officially like to welcome everyone to our webinar today, Mobile Advertising Deep Dive India. Listen in as our knowledgeable lineup of speakers will be sharing their insights when it comes to mobile programmatic advertising, success factors of media buying of board games, and of course, the exciting panel discussion where they will talk about the issues the industry is facing together with solutions on the different opportunities and challenges. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's have a quick introduction of our speakers today. So now I would like to make you meet our first speaker, which is over here with us, Pompika Gautam, Senior Account Executive at Aarki. Hi, Pompika, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm doing good. Thanks for the introduction, Mahi. Hi, everyone. I'm Pompika Gautam. I'm the Senior Account Executive from Aarki. Nice to have all of you here.
Thank you so much, Pompika. It's really great to have you here. Next, we have Mirza Kairat, Senior Sales Manager at SocialPeta. Hi, Mirza, how are you doing?
Hi, Mahi. How are you? Thanks for introduction. Hi, hello, everyone. I'm Mirzad from SocialPeta as a Senior Sales Manager, and it's a great pleasure to have you all here.
Thank you so much, Mirzad. It's an amazing, amazing time. So let's head on to the next speaker we are having, ladies and gentlemen. We also have a special guest speaker from Singular to join our insightful panel discussion, Mr. Raghu Verma, the account executive. Hi, Mr. Raghu, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, Mahi. Thank you so much for having me here. And good afternoon to all the fellow panelists and then the audiences. I'm Raghu. I lead the business for Singular India. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mr. Raghu. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm Mahi Sharma. I'm the host of today's webinar of yours. So let's kick it off with our first discussion by Aarki on mobile programmatic advertising. So ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be the first presentation with Aarki. So head on to Pompika.
Hi, everyone. It's great to have all of you here. So today I'll be talking about mobile programmatic advertising. Many times I have been asked this question, like how a DSP works different from an ad network. Why can't a campaign be managed without a DSP? Why can't an advertiser directly work with publishers? So today I'm going to cover this topic with some deep understanding of how DSP works. So let's start with an introduction to Aarki. As we all know, Aarki is an AI-enabled DSP platform. Aarki uses machine learning, big data, and engaging creative to grow and re-engage users. So Aarki is basically into new user acquisition as well as retargeting. So talking about our performance, we have the capacity to deliver 4 million plus queries per second. We have acquired around 10K plus daily users for our largest customer. With our global presence in 18 plus locations, we have also been awarded like more than 12 times. Next, let's discuss the point how DSP and ad network is different. DSP, what is DSP? It's a technology platform which connect ad exchanges and SSP to buy impression through RTB auction. It actually allows the advertiser to purchase, optimize, and programmatic inventory through one interface. Whereas if we look at ad network, it works like a middleman. They directly buy the inventory from the publisher and sell it to the advertiser at a set price. Now, as we all know, like the difference between DSP and ad network, let's look at the key differences. The first and the foremost thing which I want to discuss here is transparency. So when we say transparency, I mean, the advertiser can see the ad placement, the type of audience they're able to reach, and what they're getting out of their spend. So this is something which is very important for managing a campaign. So campaign data, the app event can be viewed on reporting dashboard or passed via API that enable the advertiser to have an end-to-end performance visibility. So how does ad network works in this case? So inventory in ad network is aggregated across multiple publishers before being sold. Hence, neither the publisher nor the advertiser knows where each impression is being served. So there's a big gap when it comes when we talk about transparency. So next, what I wanted to discuss is regarding the pricing model. As we know that DSP here, traffic are being bought on real-time bidding platforms. So there's a fixed price. The price depends on the market. So whereas in ad network, they buy a fixed amount, a fixed bulk of impressions, the installs and actions, irrespective of the impression value. Next, automation. What is automation? DSP is all about automation, I would say. They are all processed from bidding to optimization are carried out automatically, and the machine learning algorithm of the platform. So ad network requires a lot of manual setup. There are a number of multiple links that need to be arranged. Even the creative level cannot be optimized automatically. So a campaign can never be successful without optimization and audience management. Let's see how DSP optimize and manage audience. So when we talk about DSP, the first thing that comes to mind is ML algorithm and data. So DSP can predict the most probable user, hence brings LTV user. DSP can deal with numerous optimization at the same time, and creative and media buying optimization can be done simultaneously. With actually one DSP in the toolbox, advertisers can reach the intended audience through millions of touchpoints at a time. So on the other hand, if we talk about ad networks, so optimization is little difficult. Traffic is brought from various publishers and there is no transparency. Creative optimization will also be limited because they usually go for A/B testing, which take time to generate the learning. So let's see what is programmatic advertising. So programmatic advertising is nothing but buying and selling mobile ad inventory in high efficiency. We use RTB platforms. RTB is an auction setting where ad impressions are sold in transaction in milliseconds. So this is how the ecosystem look like. So on one side is the advertiser who is looking for traffic. On the other side is the publisher who is who wants to monetize their traffic. So here comes the role of ad exchanges, who acts as a two-sided coin. They have DSPs on one side and SSPs on the other side. For DSP, they help DSP to get the traffic, and they help SSP to sell their traffic. So when we talk about programmatic advertising, so there are a few advantages which I want to discuss here. First is the advanced targeting capability. The most revolutionary aspect of programmatic buying is that it allows advertiser to serve a specific ad to a specific set of audience. They can decide what kind of audience to target, who should see their ads, and who will be the most probable user. So another thing that makes a difference is the automation. So everything is done in an automated way in a real time, and the process does not rely on any manual insertion order or any manual trading. And this saves lots of time and money, I would say. As it is automated, for both the parties, there is no time spent on negotiation or setting up the campaign. Next, I want to discuss the key pillars. So when we say programmatic, the one thing that comes to mind is ML and data. So a DSP partner with the ability to filter which data is valuable to be used to train the ML model. It's very important for every DSP partner to have the ability to choose which data to be used. Also, with the ability to choose the right model and the optimization plan, as it will be helping scaling the campaign. The most important thing is the creative. reaching the right audience with the right content at the right time is something which is very much required for the success of a campaign. So localizing and personalizing the creative. So when we say localizing, so I know India is a multilingual country. So there are certain tier 2 and tier 3 states where people like to see content in local languages. So in that, those kind of campaigns should focus on localizing creative. Also, we generally see personalization is very close to people. Like whenever there we see a creative during Diwali with some Diwali messages or Diwali quote, it impacts us a lot. So the creative is one of the prime factor for a successful ad campaign. Campaign management. When we talk about campaign management, it means reporting with transparency. So I would suggest everyone to work with a partner with a correct right reporting tool to make sure that optimization are guided by valuable performance data. So talking about the variety of ad formats, so generally programmatic partners like support display, video, banner, and native. Display, we can do animated and playable. Even native can be done in display and video. So it is very important to distribute the budget among various ad formats, because we never know that which campaign performs better in which kind of format. So for initial testing period, it is very important to distribute it among different ad formats. And after that, it is important to optimize the campaign on creative level as well. So most of the time we see that display works better for certain campaigns and video doesn't, and it goes other way around as well. So it is very important to try different ad formats. I think that is it from my side. Thank you.
Sounds well, Pompika. Thank you so much for the insightful presentation on mobile programmatic advertising. Remember, feel free to ask any question you may have, and our expert speakers will answer them during Q&A. Let's hop on to the next discussions, ladies and gentlemen, from SocialPeta about successful factors for media buying of Indian board games. So, ladies and gentlemen, now I'm going to welcome SocialPeta, Mr. Kairat. Kindly come forward and share the presentation you have. Thank you.
Hi, hello everyone. So I'm Mirzad from SocialPeta, and for today, so I'd like to share about the success factor for India card and board games advertising. So basically, in this sharing, first of all, I will go through deep insight into card and board game advertising and the trend during the time, and the compares to like previous advertising trend from ad creatives and advertiser perspective. And also, I would like to share about India card board games advertising ranking board based on our SocialPeta ad intelligence data. And after, I do have a prepared like 2-class India advertiser, mobile game advertiser actually, and I see how their performance and the marketing trends during the time to explore their successness, to share what we can learn from them, and so on. And at the end, I would like to share some recommendation and on ad creative designing and some short tips based on ad creative designing or promoting and so on. Some marketing tips. So first of all, I'll just jump into the our main story. So according to SocialPeta ad intelligence platform, we can see that even from the chart that the ad creatives trend in Q3 in 2021 has increased more than 200% over the year. In the chart here, in deep blue is active advertisers, and the light blue is the ad creatives, and orange line here is the creative per advertiser. As we can see, active advertiser kept the same amount, but ad creatives that actively promoting has increased almost 3 times from last year in 2021, Q3 and Q2. And from the line that we can see that the average ad creatives that advertisers promoting has increased 86% over the year. And also, when we see the trends of global card and the board advertisers during the time, we will find out it's been very competitive market. And then we can see here in May and June, there was a decrease of the line there. And then it's actually because advertisers in the market has been increased. It's not, they're promoting less, but the advertisers, they're becoming more. And then we can see the high here in July. It reached the highest advertisers amount in the year, during the year. And also, when we look at the market trends in India for the cards and board game advertising, we can see that India market also in the fire. Like there's like huge competition in here with the 81,000 of ad creatives per month, and then 193 advertisers per month as well. And also, as a different range promoting the local mobile devices, and network is also the like a key point that we need to consider as a marketer. Here we can see in our circle here, it's shape of advertisers. Actually, Android advertisers are increasing in globally, and the Apple, and I think like we all say like Apple's ATT policy also is a key challenge for all the marketers. So it has been decreased for the ISO marketers. And inner circle here is the shape of creative ad creatives. And then in the left side, you'll see, according to SocialPeta's data on India card and the board game advertising creatives in during the January till September, video ad creatives accounted for 81% and then decreased 9% over the year. And then image ad creators announced accounted for 18%, up like 10% over the year. And then, like you can see nowadays, because of the networking going 5G and all mobile users are increasing with the smartphone, and then like iPhone 13, and then like Galaxy, like all type of, but still, like image type of creatives also is still increasing. So that's something we can remember with. And then also HTML and the playable ads creatives recorded a sharp decline. And here, finally, we came to our rank here. So let us quick look at the Indian card and board game advertising rankings based on SocialPeta ad intelligence data. Tenpati and Rami dominated the top 10 games, and then Tenpati games spent more in advertising with 7 Tenpati games ranked. And then the top 1 game there in Tenpati Star reported over like 100,000 duplicated advertiser creatives in September during the January till September. We can quick look for the rank here also. And then let's quick look at these 2 games that we just mentioned, as see how they're promoting and then have their trends goes during the time. Here, the first game, it's Rami Circle. It's founded in 2006. Play games by Play Games 24/7 is as a well-known in India card and board game industry. Its co-founder Trickman and then the Bhavin started their business from PC games and then launched their most popular game as the Rami Circles to achieve the dominating position in the card and the board games on Apple App Store. And here in the trend, we can see that advertisers replying were mainly on Facebook, and over the like 31% of creatives on this channel, and the ad creatives who remained stable in January till March started to raise in April, and then peaked in July and September. Ad creatives peaked in late August at 386, and then for the 1 day on Facebook. And for the next game, then we can see Tenpati Gold has always been among like top 10 card board games in revenue in India market, with a total revenue of over 100 million from Android during the January to September 2021. The game has been advertised for over like 200, like 2,200 days, almost like 4 years, generating a total like over 3,000 dedicated ad creatives advertising, replying mainly also on Facebook, nearly like 28% of ad creatives on this channel. As in one of the, like a classic card and the board game, it generated a small number of daily ad creatives with large increases in May and in July there. And here are some of well-performed like ad creatives in our next page, with a quite impressive impression and popularity, as we can see. The first one with the display earning to increasing users, and the second one also with the multiple people displays, and then the third one with the real people scenario. Actually, it's a very well-known like type of creatives that promoting in India market. Actually, here we can see on the left side are some of our tips for the marketers. As you can see, like number one is over 80% of size of best image ad creatives in India card games and board games are in 101, of which over like 8% of them are like 600 plus 600 pixels. And then the number two is that the human portraits can be founded in all popular image ad creatives, stringing up emotions through the excitement in their faces. So we recommend for the human portraits as well. And then at last, for third, we'll say the showing game rewards in image ad creatives can also stimulate people's desire to download the game. So actually, these are the three tips for, like ad creatives type, like what type of creatives that you use, and then what kind of elements that you use, and then before the scenario, what type of scenario that you can use for. It's actually quite proved by during the time, and then we can track from our data, and then that we can see that as well. And at the end, I would like to the quick overview of the SocialPeta, who we are, what we do. So SocialPeta, with the aid of the world's largest advertising intelligence analysis tool, SocialPeta's data team gives our clients the perspective of mobile advertising data in global mobile game markets. And also we collect advertising data by sampling in a global scale. We have currently accumulated over 1 billion pieces of advertising data, and then updates up to 1 million pieces of advertising on daily basis. And then based on our huge database, we can gain an insights into the overall trends of the advertising industry, and then to help all the marketers with their ad creatives, designing of ad creatives, with their promoting, and with all on.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mizrat. So, ladies and gentlemen, this was Mr. Mirzat. So, another informative presentation this was, isn't it? So now, ladies and gentlemen, for the most awaited part of the webinar, I am welcoming back Pompika, Mirzat, and Raghu, as we will start to deep dive on India's mobile advertising industry. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's have a panel discussion over here. All right, so all our speakers are here with us. Thank you so much. So, ladies and gentlemen, before we dive deep into India's mobile advertising industry, let's get to know more about our speakers through some fun, rapid fire questions. First off, it's not a mobile industry webinar if we don't ask, do you use an iPhone or Android? If you are an iPhone user, will you opt in or out? So this question is for Pompika firstly. So what phone do you use, Pompika?
Yeah, I have recently moved to iPhone, and obviously being in this industry, I'll opt in for that. Yeah.
That's really great. So Raghu, what would you like to say?
I have always been an Android guy, and then I continue to be so. I mean, like if at all Android provided me with an option, just like what Apple does, then I have to say that I would have opted out.
Impressive. Great. So, Mirzat, Mr. Mirzat, what would you like to say about it? iPhone or Android?
Currently, I'm using with my iPhone, and then I've been using iPhone for like past 3 years as well. I think, you know, like once you get used to your like operation system, it's really hard to change to another one. So I think that's
Agree.
that's the thing here. Yeah.
Even same thing with me. I'm also using an iPhone, so it's amazingly working for me. So, ladies and gentlemen, since we are talking about the mobile phones you have, so you have to share three most used apps. So just tell me, what are the three most used apps in your phone right now?
Yeah, for me, it is like social media, Instagram for sure, Pinterest, and I'm a big game fan, so I play Call of Duty. Yeah.
Oh wow, gamer. Great. So Raghu.
Besides Gmail, Slack, and Zoom, I want to put that aside. But otherwise, I do use InShots to keep myself updated on the latest news. Then I very much rely on the Beam, which is an UPI transactional based finance app to kind of like fuel my UPI payments. And then I play a lot of like jigsaws and Sudokus. So
Wow,
those are the games that I have one or the other app for them.
that sounds really well. So Mr. Mirzat, what would you like to say about it?
Yeah, besides social media app, I also big fan of, you know, like mobile games as well. Like recently I'm sticking with the puzzle games. And I also like, because, you know, I'm trying to work out recently, so I'm kind of like really into like a gym type of apps, you know, like healthy workout type of like keep and so on. So yeah.
Well, health is wealth, so everybody is on it. So yes, so ladies and gentlemen, and as the last thing that would be interesting for our audience to know, so I would like to know what's the best advice you have ever received in your line of work.
Maybe, yeah. To believe in myself, I would say that is the best piece of advice. Whatever you do, just trust yourself. Yeah.
Amazing, amazing. And Raghu,
Oh, one advice that I have gotten, and then the one that I always follow, and then the one that I always give is just to kind of like to be humble. Like that's the word that I stick to.
that's really impressive. Great. So, Mr. Mirzat,
I will say never start thing that you're not willing to finish. Yeah, I've been, you know, like having this like sign even like for my like social media as well. Yeah, I really like it. You know, never start thing you're not willing to finish. So keep your faith on.
that's really great. Well, now we know a bit more about our panelists. Let's jump right in and get their insights and solutions on the opportunities and challenges concerning India's mobile advertising market. So, ladies and gentlemen, the first point that I'd like to raise, and I'm sure the audience would like to hear from each of you, are the issues that mobile marketers are facing these days. We know that ad fraud is prevalent issue in the market around the globe. We face it. What are your solutions that target this matter?
Oh, it's interesting that we have picked up ad fraud as a very first point to discuss. I mean, yeah, you know, why not? Like that's been the topic which has been bothering for a while. Uh, both advertisers and ad networks equally. So me coming from an attribution background, I think like often attribution platforms are seen as a first line of defense against ad fraud. I'm like singular takes is two-folded solutions. Firstly, we concentrate on flexibility. Like we need our advertisers to have a lot of flexibility in detecting the fraud and then acting upon that fraud. And like we do that by allowing our advertisers to kind of like use over about like 30 customizable rules, and then some of them being really proprietary to singular. I think this is the first and most important thing, which concentrates on flexibility. The second one is on the transparency. So again, in singular, we believe in transparency, and then we want our advertisers to kind of like to be in a position to share the insights into fraudulent touch points of the transactions with their ad networks. I mean, that really equips the networks to kind of like act on that data set and then mitigate the threat in a very timely manner. So these are the two primary elements that singular solutions will focus on.
Sounds well. So transparency is the major key. Well, so Pompika, what do you have to say about it?
So yeah, talking about ad fraud it is one of the prime issue that every Indian marketer faces. To curb that, we as a programmatic platform uses detectors and algorithm to pinpoint it at the source. Aarki has a media team that monitors proactively, flags the anomalies. Our ML model allows us to value user impression and correlate it with the post-install activity. So also our advertiser uses third-party tracking tool, fraud tool, which we support. And if there's any flag raised, we have a three-way transparent investigation going on to detect that. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. So all set for this, right? So great. So ladies and gentlemen, for the next issue I'm raising is quality and transparency in running ad campaigns, but moreover, how mobile marketers continue to question this with the partners they work with. What is your advice around quality and transparency, Mirzad, Mr. Mirzad from Social Beta we have?
Yeah, thanks for the question. I mean, as an ad intelligence platform, our perspective will base creatives and advertising strategies and based on. The first will say establish the objective and the targeting audience is very important. Key point that's first. For example, like where to promote the country and the region, and then selection of the network channels, which channels should I promote with, and also the choosing of the interest words. That's a very key point as well. And also advertising strategy, choosing the right platform to promote, and I also they adjust the market cost, how much I'm spending for my advertising, and I also will say attention to a competitor's advertising strategy. That's actually a very helpful shortcut, actually. See how is my competitors they're promoting, and then they spend so much time and so much cost on their promoting tasks as well. So we can easily just see what they're promoting and see how we can work on with our promotion as well. And then after we'll say of course, and the identifying the type of creatives is also important, like what type of creatives that you use, like image, video, carousels, HTML, and which is the more suitable for the your targeted region, because like different region they have different devices of mobile devices and the different type of networks, like some places like 5G, some places like 3G or 4G. So it really depends. And also designing of the ad creatives. Yeah, so like I shared it with my solo presentation. So like a text ads, localization, elements, colors, and so on.
Very well. So Pompika, next you. So what do you have to say about this?
So as a DSP, our responsibility is to make sure that the advertiser can see the placement, the type of audience they're able to reach, and what they're getting back from the ad spend. That is the transparency which I believe. And apart from that, campaign data, the ad event data attributed to the campaign can be viewed through a reporting dashboard via API. So what it helps is that it enables the advertiser to have an end-to-end performance visibility. So this is all about transparency. Regarding the quality, as we follow ML, by running various algorithms, we are just able to find the correct audience, not just a set of audience, but the correct audience, I would say the most probable one, who is most probable to download the app and even use it.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Ms. Pompika. So let's head on to Mr. Raghu. What do you have to say, Mr. Raghu, about quality and transparency?
As an attribution platform, we might not have a direct control in terms of the quality of the campaigns themselves, because it's the channel partners who are fueling that side of things. But yes, however, we believe that giving an advertiser access to the most granular, or rather the transparent data, access to the data elements will certainly kind of like equip them in taking better decisions. So when I which in turn can actually help impact the quality as well, not the ones that might be have been initiated, but the actions that they take after that will certainly help in the quality side of things. And then even when we take a step back, often attribution as a platform is sold as a commodity, right? And then that limits the capabilities of the advertiser on what they can achieve. But we need to think about innovative solutions in order to equip these marketers, such as understanding the creative fatigue at a shortest possible time. Those are, and then fueling the growth with this good audience segmentation. So those are some parameters or suites which can really help the digital marketer to improve their quality. And of course, in a very transparent manner.
So, ladies and gentlemen, let's head on to the next one. So, moving over to the next factor that advertisers are usually asking about is how to properly set up ad campaigns with your partners. So, let's see with our advertisers what they think are the key factors to consider in doing so. Ms. Pankita.
So whenever being into the sales, whenever I speak to the advertiser, the first question that comes is, will you be able to meet the KPI? So that is the first question that arises, and what will be the quality of the users? So Aarki's ML techniques, I would say, that combines various model into one predictive model to optimize the KPI. It is not fixed, I would say, for each and every advertiser, because I have seen every advertiser has a different KPI. Some of them are looking for retention, some of them are looking for ROI, some of them are looking for just users, like low cost users, which they wanted some lesser cost per install user, that is. So our ML models help to predict the install probability, hence deliver the high quality user prediction. So according to the requirement of the advertiser, we optimize the campaign and we use the model accordingly. So another important thing is the creative, which I would say. So personalize and localize creative, which I have mentioned in the presentation earlier, plays a very important role. I have seen the performance changing while when we keep changing the creatives. In a certain set of creative, we see the ROI just drastically change from somewhere to the other. So it plays a very important role. So another important thing is I would like to mention here is the reporting and transparency, which is equally important for the success of the campaign. The advertiser should know where the campaigns are running, the data and everything for the campaign to be successful.
Thank you so much, Ms. Pampika. So, Mr. Mirzad, next. So, what do you have to say about it?
For the setting up the successful mobile ad campaigns, like I mentioned, first of all, the ad creatives have to design your ad creatives, and then selecting your K networks where to promote, and then of course targeting your audience network. This is also the very key point as well. And then maybe like when you're running your campaign, you're selecting of the interest words as well. That's also the key point. And then after, let's say, have your advertisers impressions going to track your promoting trend, and then so on.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Mirza. So next, Mr. Raghu, we would like to hear your words as well.
Yeah, I'm like, again, probably I'm being a little selfish here because I need to talk on the attributions lines as well. So again, like in order for us kind of like before an advertiser actually goes ahead and sets up the campaigns with their individual channel partners, it's essential that the advertisers has the capability or the ability to kind of like go ahead and create those tracking links on their attribution platforms, right? So what's really important is to understand the level of information that the advertisers will have access to once the campaign is live. That's really important. That's where we are talking about transparency, the reporting capabilities, etc. And then when we are talking about this, it's really essential to understand the depth of integration that that an attribution has with the channel partners. And then when I say depth of integration, I'm not talking about at the lines of like, say, just the campaign names and then the placement, or rather the sub-campaign names. I'm talking about going further deep into the funnel, understanding the placements, understanding the publisher names or the IDs, and then looking at the creative assets themselves, right? Like, of course, evaluating the entire cohort based on a creative assets and even to the level of keyword names. These are the most important elements, I would say. And like, again, like, and even if the network is capable of passing these informations, and then you need to pick a right attribution platform which can actually deliver these elements in a report so that it will eventually equip the digital marketer to kind of like act upon it rather than trying to figure out how would I get this information from multiple sources with whom he's actually running campaigns on. So that's one of the elements that I would say are very important. Again, like once those parameters are actually taken care of, I think that's where advertisers will have access to the most crucial metrics. I always use this a lot, like the metrics of like the past, like the CTR, CPM, CVRs, they are of the past. Like now we are looking at the CPTs, cost per transactions or actions, or the ROI, right? Like what is a revenue on investment? That's the most crucial metric that an advertiser should have access to. And then some others would be like the ROS. So again, yeah, this is my take, but then again, I completely agree with Pompika and Mirzad's points. Like having a very effective KPIs plays a very crucial role, and then the role of the creatives itself, based on the business models, are very, very important in the whole evaluation process.
Thank you so much, Mr. Raghu. And ladies and gentlemen, this next topic we would like to bring up, of course, is one of the biggest industry changes we have seen in 2021. I understand that many Indian consumers are Android users, but we would like to hear about your thoughts on SKAN. SKAN, ladies and gentlemen, specifically what the changes you have seen happening in and targeting and budget.
Yeah, this is I mean, a very big change came up in 2021. I still remember the first time I heard the news, and the whole Aarki product team was like doing anything to just find out the solution. So because of that, targeting iOS user is not the same as before, I would say. Even testing creatives and ads will be different. At Aarki, what we are still doing is we are optimizing to we are able to actually optimize to a variety of KPIs like install, events, and ROI without user identifier through our machine learning models. We use aggregated campaign signals to develop models using using purely scan conversion events. So things are not same for sure, but we have been working hard on this. But yeah, and hoping that we could find more solutions to it. And that is it. Yeah.
Thank you, Ms. Pompika. So, Mr. Raghu.
Yeah, the whole industry was going crazy when we were kind of like when iOS 14.3 was kind of like introduced. And then again, like specifically for us now advocating for the region, we have to say that we have been fortunate because the majority of the market share in India is that of like the Android. So we had little less thing, like we had that time for us to kind of like not too much worry too much about the impact that scan or ATT was going to have in this region. But then again, like most of this is because like again like one of the reasons that I see is I receive less questions on SK Ad Network or ATT as compared to my colleagues who are positioned or rather based out of like iOS dominant regions. Again, Singular stake is fairly effective. Singular always believed in knowledge sharing and adopting a consultative based of an approach. So we were a step ahead in terms of educating our advertisers, irrespective of the size of the iOS market share that they might have, and then explaining them what are the issues that we might foresee at the early stages, giving them that confidence, saying that it's certainly a change in the technology, but still it's not something that we're not prepared of. Again, coming to the point, like there has been certain drops in the spends that went into the iOS, and then people were comfortable spending more on the Android. Again, with the constant improvements on like the technologies like the conversion value management helped us to be, really to be in a position where we can build that confidence in the advertiser. And then things are, I would certainly say that things are taking a better position now. I mean, like it's been almost a year that the scan or ATT has been introduced, and then the advertisers are more comfortable now.
And of course, ladies and gentlemen, as we are talking about depreciation of the IDFA and the rise of SKAN for iOS, we have to talk about the rumors and expectations as to Android's GAID, GAID, and as well as other trends that can expect for 2022. Raghu, would you like to start on your thoughts about GAID?
Yeah, I get a lot of questions on this. Like though we were okay because like iOS percentage of users were a little less, but like I do get asked about what happens if the same is done on Android. So I personally believe that Google's version of SK Ad Network or Scan is certain for sure, but it's just that we don't know when that's going to happen. I think like Google has already taken a very first step by making this Google advertising ID disappear if the limit ad tracking is on Android 12 and above. So that's a big step. So we can say for sure that there is something that's going to come our way very soon. But then again, the implementation of these things needs to be validated. There's a lot of gaps. Like there is a technology that we use like fingerprint-based attributions. How well these biggies such as Google's and Facebook's that they kind of like enforce these things and how they can actually measure. There's a bit of gray area, but I feel that very certain that we would have Google's version of SK Ad Network very soon.
So I'm excited as well as nervous, I would say. So when scan came, I was like, okay, I'm safe till now, but now it's, I don't know what will happen. We'll look into it and we'll see. I'm sure there will be way out where we could work and target our audience. Talking about the trends in 2022, yeah, it's. I believe it's going to be big. We can see the developing economy in our country. There are numerous opportunities to advertisers to promote their products and services. They're expanding the media channels in various reasons. The companies are focusing on creating a strong brand image these days. So even after the pandemic, I can see many new verticals coming up. There's health tech, there's crypto, there's finance. Before that, yeah, there was gaming and e-commerce mostly, but now there are many new verticals coming up. And yeah, 2022 is going to be big, I guess. Yeah.
Wonderful. Such a great thought. So, ladies and gentlemen, now let's move on to what each of you expect for 2022. Specifically on the changes and trends that all of us in the industry will see.
So I will say for the expectation for 2022, I will say, just like Rahul and then Pompika mentioned that, a scan is already there and then JID is on the way, probably coming, but it's just a matter of time. And then besides that, also India is a huge market, in India mobile business surge a big development due to like COVID-19 as well during last year. And the mobile advertiser is increasing with more time spent on mobile app and mobile games as well. And I think I remember like there was one of the reports shows that there's like a 20% or like increasing online users starting from earlier of last year in India. So our like mobile advertising business is going to be like penetrate of India business as well. Hope our mobile advertising intelligence will be like help India companies to grab better strategies and then save their advertising costs.
As I already mentioned that it's 2020 is going to be big. We are looking forward for more spend on ads. And also we can see there are many companies which are listed as a public company these days. So yeah, we expect them to spend more in 2022.
That's really well. So, Mr. Raghu, your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I'm quite optimistic. I think like there's a lot of amazing things that we're gonna see in India specifically. I mean, so far, like we have about like 30, 35 or 40 unicorns this year alone. Maybe hope that like that's gonna explode to about like 100 unicorns the next year. And I personally believe that the economy is gonna be super bullish. And then I feel that like there is going to be a certain degree of consolidation in the space of digital marketing itself, in the form of maybe a lot more number of acquisitions and then takeovers, etc., partnerships, because we are moving towards more of a privacy side of things, right? Like which has not been the key pointer for some time. So privacy is going to certainly be have a lot of traction there. And then the other thing that finally, I believe that it's really important for the whole industry to be constantly innovating and be better prepared for the changes that might be thrown our way. And yeah, of course, iOS was a bit of shock, but like I think like there is a need for the entire ecosystem to kind of like innovate and then come up with brilliant ideas which would allow us to kind of like fuel the growth further.
Great. Thank you so much, Mr. Raghu. So, ladies and gentlemen, our panelists are here, and please feel free to ask any question you're having. So, they are all set, all ready to answer all the questions, whatever you ask. So, go ahead, please. Thank you. All right. By the way, I'm also having few questions over here with me from the audience only. So the first question is, how to increase insurance sales through mobile?
So insurance sales. So to increase sales, and first and the foremost thing which I would like to mention is to target the correct set of audience with the correct creative. So basically, first we need to predict the right user. The user is who is more probable to download the app. As I mentioned before, Aarki uses various ML technique. They use data. They use attributed and non-attributed data. Basically, the non-attributed data where the users were already using the app, they kind of understand the kind of audience who is most probable. They look for lookalike audience. It is not like we just target any set of audience, but it is very important to drive sales. And if there is any in-app purchases, it is very important to reach the correct audience. So yeah, with the various algorithms, learning the app and like existing feature of the app, Arki build and launch custom machine learning models, which help the the marketer to reach the correct user, I would say.
So next, SocialPeta. What do you have to say on increasing insurance sales through mobile?
So from our perspective, we'll say, still the choice the right platform to promote with. And then also for the interest word as well, have to track where your audience is. You have to target your audience correctly. It's very important, like when you even do like optimization with your like advertisement or ad creatives, the key interest word is also important because it really leads you where your ad creative is going and where to meet your audience with. So that's the important part as well. And then besides that, it's just also the elements that you use for your creatives to like what type of audience that you can fit with. It really depends on your understanding of the market. And then you also, like as we here to, to track this all data to analysis from the past, how is it going? Still like there's a little bug of the gap of like, we can't really define like where our audience is, where our targets is, but still like we can analysis where the way that we can find out where to lead with.
So let's head on to Singular.
Singular can certainly be that technology partner that the advertisers can rely upon to get insights into the data or the performance of the campaigns. But I completely agree with the points that were raised by both Pompika and Mirzad. Having an effective audience segmentation plays a really crucial role in terms of having a better efficacy. And then, connecting those audiences with the right set of creative messaging. I mean, I cannot add more to that. Like, those are the two best things that I would say.
So the next question is coming up. How can I offer personalized mobile marketing content data to customers? So Aarki?
Personalized mobile marketing content. So first thing is data segmentation, unifying data segments, then creative strategies, custom creative based on data, and also targeting list. These are few things which are required for personalizing the mobile marketing content. So Arki surely believes in data and works on data. So basically getting the right set of audience, getting a targeting list, so helps, we can help it out to like target the personalized mobile marketing thing. Yeah.
Amazing. So next question is coming for SocialPeta. What are modern day use cases of disruptive mobile advertising techniques?
So basically, in our like advertiser intelligence platform, we use with all the information intelligence, and then besides creative designing, and then cost, words in choosing of the interest words as well, based on what audience are, and then how their like marketing strategies goes. And then also, while they're like advertiser strategy, they have to really have to understand that where the target audience are, and then how do we optimize our creatives, designing as well, and then all the elements and so on.
Great. So the next question is coming for Singular. how do we measure mobile performance campaigns?
Oh, there are a lot of elements, but again, like I would pick three of them. I would say access to the granular data is very crucial, which would allow them to kind of like see how the campaigns are working, not at just at the level of the campaigns, but rather diving deep into the placement and then the keywords or even the creatives. I think data granularity uh, is the new thing. And then secondary element is like giving that time for your marketers to kind of like focus on the most important elements. The reason why I say this is I'm like there is a need for adopting the automated technologies or the processes during this entire evaluation process. We need to pick a technology partner which does not demand a lot of time and effort. That needs to be put in by the digital marketing team to even come to an understanding that some things are working or not working. I think we need to have some automated process which runs the performance of the campaigns across all the multiple channels that the advertisers might be picking, and then be in a position to take those decisions right out of the box. So that's the sort of automation that the marketer should be looking at. And then again, like setting up a very real important KPIs plays a very crucial role for the digital marketer. So a strong KPIs, very good focus on automation where you can invest your time and energy in the most relevant things, and then access to the granular data. I would say these are the three primary elements in order to measure the performance of the campaign.
Thank you so much, Mr. Raghu. So once again, I would like to announce if anyone has any questions, so they can just ask them right here. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you so much, everyone who joined, engaged, and participated on this webinar. It's been a great opportunity to share all of insights and experiences with you guys. And we hope you learned many things from Pompika, Mezar, and Raghu. If you would like to reach them personally for more questions, feel free to send them an email as seen on the screen. Goodbye and have a great rest of the day. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Thank
Have
you,
a great
everyone.
day.